Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I have a product unboxing, initial reaction, and review video for you today, and I am very excited about this. Over the years, I have reviewed so many different models of air fryers and pressure cookers and things like that, and after a while, they all kind of start blending together. They're very similar. There are little differences here and there, but they're very similar. So I get really excited when I get to review something that is new and unique and something that's brand new to the market. And I think this appliance is going to be one of those things. It is the Dreo ChefMaker. Now, it looks on the surface like an air fryer, which I like because it's something a little bit familiar. It's very approachable, but at the same time, there are some really cool innovations in this product that make it much different from an air fryer. So let's just go ahead and get going with the unboxing. We'll see all the pieces. I am going to test it out. I'm going to be using it for a few days on a few different things so I can really give you a solid review, and I will come back at the end and give you all of my final thoughts. So in the box on top is a giant getting started guide. Love that. Very easy, big print, step-by-step instructions. It reminds me of the safety information you would find on an airplane, like in the seat pocket in front of you. I love that, making it easy to follow and understand. Here is the cooking tray. I love that they have everything labeled in here so I don't get the names wrong. So it does look like an air fryer cooking tray, very similar. And this in here is the cook probe, and this is one of the things that makes this product unique. It will measure the temperature as you cook and will adjust based on the temperature so that you get really good results, both on the outside of the meat and on the inside of the meat. Because of course, when you're cooking something like a steak, the outside and the inside are supposed to be cooked very differently, and the ChefMaker is supposed to be able to monitor and cook both of those things separately, just like a professional chef would, but without all of the guesswork. Like, they do all the guesswork. So I am super excited to see how that works. So there is the temperature probe, and here we have the user manual. Now on to the machine itself. Again, I love how approachable this is. It just looks like an air fryer. I also love how compact it is. It doesn't take up a whole lot of counter space, just about the same amount as a regular sized air fryer. But the features beyond what an air fryer has are the most important. One of them being the water tank. So there is a water tank here that will inject steam as you're cooking. So it uses the information from the temperature probe to adjust the temperature and then also to inject steam as needed to get perfect results. So this is how big the water tank is, and it fits right down in there, and then it has the little lid that goes on top. All right, let's open it up, see what's inside. This is the grilling rack, and it shows you how to install it here. And I like how they put back and front here to make it very, very easy. So it just sits down in here like that and holds it up above the bottom. I really like that grill basket. That's very cool. Got some paper in here, of course, we need to take out. Last thing before I start washing stuff and getting this going is I'll take the protective, or the screen protector off here. There we go. Oh, it looks so beautiful. So that's the grilling rack, and I'll just put in the cooking tray here so you can see how it goes. It looks like it can go in any way, and it has like these little silicone bumpers here, so it slides right in, and it holds the food up above the bottom. So following the instructions here for the initial use, I am going to cook it at 380 for 15 minutes, and that's just going to burn off any remaining odors before we actually get to cooking. So let's plug it in and see what the display looks like. Ooh, it's got a nice screen here. So we have chef mode, we have classic cook, probe cook, favorites, so you can save different cooking favorites if there's something you cook often, and then settings. Oops. So I'm gonna go down to Classic Cook. I do like how mild the beeping is. There are some appliances I've used where the beeping is just super obnoxious. So far I'm really liking that. And let's see, I'm gonna hit the play pause button. And I want it on air fry, but look, they have air fry, defrost. Oh, I am very excited to try that out. Reheat, broil, roast, toast, bake, and dehydrate. I want to choose air fryer, and I want it on 380 degrees for 15 minutes. So I will hit start. All right, finished. I will let this cool and wash these, and then we're gonna get started with some cooking. Okay, now for the real test. I am going to cook some tri-tip steak. This is what I had in the fridge, defrosted, ready to go. I am going to choose the chef mode option. I imagine as I get used to using this and figuring it all out, I'll be able to use the classic cook a little bit more because I'll know how to set the right times and temperatures and stuff for whatever I'm cooking. But for now, I'm going to keep it with the chef mode where they do the work for me. I like that they have both options. Sometimes machines can think for us too much, especially if we're used to cooking and we know a lot of techniques. Having the option of doing things manually is really, really nice. But then also having the option to let it think for you is great. That you can choose that is perfect. So I'm choosing chef mode. I am choosing beef. And this is the list of options they have here. Brisket, burger patty, short ribs, filet mignon, flank steak, ribeye, New York strip, and skirt steak. So you can see there's no tri-tip steak on here. They don't have every single cut imaginable. But I cut this similar to a filet mignon, so I was thinking I would just use that setting, see how it goes. This is an experiment. So you can see it says probe and water required. So I will be using the temperature probe and I will be filling the reservoir with water for this one. So choosing filet mignon, I'm going to use the grilling rack, which I already have in here. Let's see. And I'm going to ensure the probe tip is at the thickest part of the food and rub the steak with butter before cooking for better browning. I love that tip. I will definitely be doing that. I just seasoned my steaks very simply with some smoked salt, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. And I'm going to insert my probe here in this one because it's kind of the biggest. I am going to fill up my water reservoir. Water going in. And lid on. All right, so now moving on. Doneness, you can pick medium rare, medium well, and well done. I wish there was a rare, but we'll just stick with medium rare. And then this is very cool. You can do classic flavor or you can do sous vide flavor. So the sous vide, you can see, cooks for a lot longer. So it's like a low and slow cook rather than a quick one. So depending on how much time you have, you can do either one. What I think I'm gonna do, since I have 3 big steaks over here, is I'm gonna cook 2 of them with the classic option and see what they look like, and then I'll save the last one and do the sous vide and see how it turns out and how they compare. So there's this little spot on the drawer where you put the end of the probe right there. And then there's the little connector here on the machine that they connect once you close the drawer. All right, those are going in. Water is required. We got the water tank filled up and it's already started. Estimated time 18 minutes. One other feature about this that I absolutely love is that it does have a window and a light, so you can check on the cooking as you're going. I love that you don't have to open the drawer and lose all the heat to check on how things are doing. I have another air fryer that has a window like that, and it has totally spoiled me whenever I use an air fryer without one. I really, really miss it. Cook time finished. I don't know if you could see on the time lapse, but at about 7 minutes, it switched to browning. So you can see how It doesn't just cook like an air fryer the same way all the way through. It cycles through the different cooking modes in order to get a really good result. I am very excited to see what it looks like. Ooh, look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this last steak going. It's gonna take a lot longer since we're gonna use the sous vide mode. I'm excited to see what the inside of this looks like. If I saw a steak like this come out of an air fryer, like the outside crispy like this, I would assume that the inside was gonna be completely gray. So let's see. Ooh. That looks good, nice and pink. Like I said, I do wish there was a like a rare setting, but of course you can use the probe and set your own temperature. So there's definitely a way to do it, but I am very happy with how that looks. And I'm also very excited to see the difference between this one and the sous vide setting. This looks really, really nice. And also keep in mind, I was using the filet mignon setting, and this is not filet mignon, but it was my best guess of what setting to use. Ooh, that looks really, really good. Nice and juicy. Oh man, Bubs just ran over because he wants to be my taste tester here. Bubs is our German Shepherd. Oh wow, that is delicious. Hands down the best air fryer steak I've ever had. And this result I got in 17 minutes of cook time. Did you need to do a taste test for me? Do you need to do a taste test? Oh, you gotta do a trick. Ready? Come on, up, come here. All right, spin. Good boy, good boy. What do you think? How many thumbs? How many thumbs? So many? Cook time finished. It took all in all about 45 minutes. The outside looks nice and crispy. I'm excited to see what the inside looks like compared to the other one. All right, here we go. I did notice that a lot less moisture was released from this steak as it's been sitting here resting. So I think it'll probably be juicier, and I do see a lot less of that gray ring around it. That looks very, very nice. You can see the difference there between the two. And these two pieces are the only pieces left of the previous steak I cooked because the kids have snapped up the rest. I had to work to save these pieces. Let me give this one a quick test. I can tell just by cutting it that it's juicier. And Bubs is back to be a taste tester of this one as well. Ooh, that looks perfect. Cooked beautifully, very, very juicy. Definitely recommend, if you have the time, to use the sous vide setting. All right, so I have been using the ChefMaker Dreo oven for about a week now, and I have to say I continue to be impressed. I love the set it and forget it ability that you get with like an Instant Pot, a pressure cooker, a slow cooker, but with this, you can get actual like restaurant quality steak results. So it's also convenient like a sous vide where you can set it and forget it. But of course with the sous vide, you have to sear it at the end. So this is a little bit more hands-off because you can set it and forget it and come back and your steak is cooked beautifully and has a little bit of a crisp to it, a little bit of sear on it. Now, of course, in an oven, you're not gonna get the exact same crust that you would get with like a super hot pan where the meat is actually in contact with the heat. So, I mean, that's just too much to ask for an oven to do that. But for an oven, it does an incredible job of giving you that really perfect inside and still achieving some sort of crisp on the outside. And I will throw out here that since it does have the settings to cook things manually, like with the probe, you can totally use it as a sous vide, like similar to a sous vide where you'd cook it until it is the temperature you want inside. and then you pull it out and you sear it on the stove or on the grill or whatever and achieve that perfect crust. So if you have the extra time and you want to go the extra mile, you do have that option with this oven. But if you're busy and you want to throw a steak into the oven and go out and do farm chores and come back to a beautifully cooked steak, like this is perfect for that. So I've cooked several things in it now. I cooked a New York steak, a thick New York steak, and it turned out beautifully. My favorite setting is the sous vide style setting where it gets like pink from top to bottom and there's hardly any like gray ring at all. It's just beautiful all the way through. I also cooked a salmon fillet and that turned out amazing. I was worried because my salmon fillet was a little bit thin and so I was afraid it wasn't going to cook as well, but it just was perfect. It was not dried out at all. It was absolutely perfect and there was still a little bit of crisp on the skin. Like it said, like the instructions said with the salmon is cook the skin side up. And so you still got a little bit of crisp on the skin and then the pink flesh part was just cooked to perfection. It was amazing. So again, I love that this device can replace something in the kitchen. It's not additional where it's just going to be another piece of equipment, but it actually works as an air fryer. So it's like an air fryer, but upgraded. And I also really love that it has the chef mode that thinks for you. So you can just set it and forget it. But then it also gives you the option of doing things manually. If you know exactly how you want to cook something or experiment, you have all of the options. I love that. So I will have all the information down in the description about how you can get your hands on this oven. It is part of a Kickstarter campaign right now, and you can get a really big discount if you get in right now. So head down in the description for all of that info. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next video.